Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video, we're going to be making some gift pouches. This is a really quick and easy project to put together. This one I've made just to fit this hand cream. I'm going to show you how to make the pouches, which come together in a matter of minutes. And for this one, I've just literally folded over the top to close the gift pouch. And I've got a couple of ideas for additional closures which I'm going to try out and we'll see how they come together. So let's get straight into the project. The pouches consist of a very simple tray at the bottom and then DSP wrapped around to create the pouch element. And the DSP I've used is 160 GSM. To calculate the size of the tray I needed for this item, I've just measured across the width of the lid, which is 1.5 inches. And because I want to have some support around the gift, I'm going to have sides which are 1 inches high. The cardstock I'm using for the tray is 3.5 inches square, and on all 4 sides I'm scoring at 1 inch. And you will obviously adjust the size of your starting cardstock depending on the size of your gift and the amount of cardstock you want up the sides. Fold and burnish along all of the score lines. So this is going to be a tray in its simplest form. If you're familiar with that process, then please skip forward. If not, we're going to cut up the first vertical to the horizontal like so. Take a wedge from the sides of this corner glue tab, repeat on the opposite corner, rotate the cardstock and repeat at the other end. We'll add glue to the 4 corner glue tabs, push in the corner glue tab and pull up the side of the tray and repeat that process on all 4 corners. Depending on the weight of cardstock you're using and the gift item, you might want to add an additional square into the base just to add some strength to that. So that's the tray, and we're now going to create the pouch element. For the size of DSP, I need to allow for the height of the product. This is 4 inches. I'm going to cut mine to 6 inches, so that gives me plenty of scope. And if you're unsure how much cardstock you'll need to go around the outside edge of your tray, I've got some scrap cardstock. I'm going to line the edge of the cardstock up with the edge of the box and just wrap that around the tray. When the ends meet up, I'm going to put a finger mark in, because you can always trim this down if you need to. The measurement to the finger mark is 6.25 inches, and then I'm going to add 1/2 inch on for my glue tab. So my DSP is going to be 6 inches by 6.75 inches. Along the 6.75 inch side, score at 1/2 inch. And for this particular opening, I want to create a perforated effect so you can tear off the top. You may have a trimmer which will do this. I'm actually going to use my dressmaker's tracing wheel. But before I add my perforation, fold and burnish along the score line. I'm going to use tape to adhere this together, and I'm going to add it to the glue tab because I want to add my perforations through the glue tab and the DSP. Using my dressmaker's tracing wheel, I'm going to run down the 5.5 inch track. So here's our perforation. Flip the piece back, and on the back side of the DSP, run tape along the bottom and the top edge above the perforations. And although I haven't here, run the tape all the way along the top, including within the score line. Take a wedge from the side glue tabs. Remove the backing from the adhesive. I'm going to line the tray up so that the corner is sitting along the score line. Bring the glue tab up around the side, and the base of the box and the base of the DSP are lined up. And we're then going to start to lift the box around, making sure it continues lined up all the way around with the bottom of the DSP until 3 sides are covered. Keep the bottom edge of the tray lined up at all times. You might find it easier to do it lifted like this. You might find it easier to do it flat on the desk. And when you get to the end of the 3rd side, remove the backing from the side glue tab. Make sure the score line is sitting up against the side of the box and pull the last panel across the tray like so, and then work your way up towards the other end, lining the edge of the DSP up with the score line. My join is at the back. I'm going to gently push the back and the front of the DSP together, and that creates our pouch. I'll put the hand cream in just for demonstration purposes. Remove the backing from the tape, push that together. If the top edges don't meet up, then just trim those down. And that's now ready for additional decoration. For the second opening, I've got the cardstock exactly the same size. Again, score at 1/2 inch. Fold and burnish along the score lines and cut a wedge from either end. I'm going to keep my piece in the scoreboard because this is going to help me add my second element. And what I'm going to do is create a tear strip. I have a strip of cardstock which is 1/2 inch wide and 6 3/4 inches long. And this is actually 250 GSM, so it's a heavier weight than the DSP. I'll start by adding tape to the back of your strip, and you want to leave about 3/4 of an inch from one end. So you'll have one element at the end which doesn't have any tape on it. I'm going to keep my piece in the scoreboard, and I'm going to use a T-square ruler just so that I've got something to butt the strip up against. I'm going to sit the ruler at 5 1/4 inches, make sure that that is running parallel. It's for guidance, not for measurement really. The end of the strip without the tape will sit beyond the bottom edge of the DSP. So the other end is lined up with the top score line, and then I'm going to use my ruler to get that lined into place. Add the tape as we did with pouch number 1 and add this DSP onto your tray. So here's our 3 pouches which are now ready, and you would embellish these as you see fit. So we've got the one which I showed at the beginning, which has got the simple fold over top. You could just add a hole to this and some ribbon to keep this closed. And then we have our 2 different closures. So let's take the perforated closure and see how this works. And you can see that has worked really well. And then our second closure system, let's see whether this one works. And again, just pull the strip round, and once again that is coming apart really easily, and there we have our open package. So here's today's project, a quick and easy gift pouch with 2 alternative closures which come together in a matter of minutes. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.